Keep things financial because the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, is joining us now. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Okay, let's talk about the Dow. It is soaring. Some good news. It's closed above 11,000 3 times this week.
Yes.
What's it mean for the economy?
Well, I think that everything's bouncing back in regards to a lot of corporate profits. Inventories need to be rebuilt. This is a natural progression things through a recession. We're back where we were about 18 months ago. Businesses are looking up to some degree. But if we want to take it to the next level, we're going to definitely have to see unemployment improve.
Sure, of course. Unemployment, definitely. We need to tackle that. Do you think that because it's been closing above average, do you think that people are going to feel a little bit more confident about investing?
Well, that's a good point, because that's what's missing right now as far as taking the market to the next level. The individual investor out there is still very skittish after everything that has happened over the past several years. So there's still a ton of money that is sitting on the sidelines, and everybody's waiting to when the individual investor is going to start getting back into the markets.
Talking about people being skittish, a lot of people not too happy about all these added airline fees there are these days. Spirit saying you might have to pay up to $45 to carry on a bag. But what is unbelievable is that the airlines are getting pretty high marks. They're actually performing better.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, if you think about it, the airlines are not having to carry as many bags. You take a flight, everybody's trying to take their bag with them as a carry-on. So they don't have to deal with as many bags through the luggage conveyor, so they're not losing as many bags. There was also the threat of actually getting fined on various different things, so they've cleaned up their act to some degree. And you're right, they are performing much better.
Yeah, performing much better. The best airline voted was Hawaiian, which all I have to say, is it really that shocking that Hawaiian Airlines is voted number one? You're going to paradise.
Yeah, exactly.
I never understand that. Okay, it is tax day. We got to call out some celebs that are just not paying those taxes. They owe the IRS big. Let's take a look at some of the biggest owers, I guess if you can say. Nick Cage, $13.3 million. Real quickly, seconds left.
He owes 13? Didn't he just lose his house?
He's lost many houses. Okay, we're going to have you weigh in on that because we are running out of time.
Well, it is Thursday. That means we are talking all things financial with the Watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Welcome back, Chris.
Pleasure.
All right, so let's jump right into with the Dow.
Yes.
For the first time this week, several times closing above 11,000. First time in, I think, 18 months.
Yeah, they had a cake party downtown New York. It was CNBC. They couldn't wait for that to happen. They bring out the noisemakers. They get all excited when they hit these milestones. We're back where we were about 18 months ago. It's great for long-term investors. If you stayed in and you didn't get crazy with your 401k and sell everything out, you bought on a consistent basis over the past 18 months, you're doing very well.
Yeah, because it was a bargain back 18 months ago. Or, when
dollar cost averaging. This is why you have to be looking at the market over the long term, not over the short term. Yeah. And dips can sometimes be your best friend.
By the same token, it's not that you don't want to invest now that it's at 11. You want to. It's just a long-term thing.
You have to always look at things in the long term. And you got a great young audience that follows this program here. You got to look at 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Will there be more dips down the road? Absolutely. But sometimes those dips, like I said, they end up being the best opportunity.
Okay, let's talk about the airlines. Counterintuitive to some, maybe, that they've been tacking on all these fees, but they're also getting some of the best report cards from the flyers themselves, and their on-time arrivals are up. There, fewer complaints. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think one of the reasons behind that is the fact that they're carrying less bags because people are bringing more carry-ons on, and so they have less that they have to go through on a regular basis. And they also had some threats as well, saying, hey, listen, you guys have to get your act together. You can't treat your passengers this way. I don't think the government, there's been some calls for the government to step in and get involved with some of the fees, but I don't think that that's the government's business.
No, they just tack on the fees and the ticket prices. What about, let's talk about the IRS. It's tax day. Got a lot of celebrities owing a bunch of money. It's always kind of fun to hear these stories of people, whoever they are, whether they're celebrities or other people, they don't realize, hey, you got to pay taxes. We got a list of some of the people that owe money here. You got Nick Cage, $13.3 million. He needs a new, by the way, you need to call him. He needs a new investment guy because things aren't going well for him the past few years.
I think he's investing in comic books or something like that. He did in castles in Europe or something ridiculous. But yeah, it's amazing. A guy can make $20 million a movie and can't pay his taxes nor his mortgage. Fantastic.
Yeah. Report that we are, there's another one there. Joe Francis owing $30 million. Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Sinbad. He's still around, huh? I didn't realize he made that much money. He owes $8 million.
We reported this morning that 60-some% of Americans think that the current income tax level is fair. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think where people are at right now, you're seeing all the tea parties take place around the country. I think people are concerned about the future and the fact that they don't want their kids and their grandkids having to pay for all the spending that's taking place right now. I think a lot of people say, okay, I've got my tax rates that I have right now, take that money. You may even have to raise my taxes going forward, but you also have to cut some spending as well, so we're not placing the burden on our kids and our grandkids.
Okay, and speaking of our kids, you wanted to chime in on the story we talked about earlier, which is there's this British clothing manufacturer that is doing these padded bikini tops sold to kids as young as 7 years old.
You guys love bringing me this. I've become like the church lady for the Daily Buzz. Seriously, I'm like the social content. I've got a daughter. I mean, are you kidding me? One time my daughter got a Barbie for her birthday that had like tattoo Barbies. We had to put tattoo on it. I was like, thank you very much. You're never going to play with this. I said, what are these things? Bratz dolls with eye makeup, bras for kids, Boy George Elementary School you guys are talking about. I mean, what's going on here?
It defies a bit of common sense, doesn't it?
Well, you know, if you go back to that fashion show thing, it seems to me that Susan B. Anthony and Harriet Tubman, there's more important things than what clothes you were wearing.